Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. Now, I feel like I had to call this one Astral. As always, is spirit led, but like this was almost easy. Calling this one Astral, it almost reminds me of the Pisces fish. Um, Funnily enough, though, I just saw a white feather floating in the air, falling down. So I think that's always a sign of spirit, or at least your angels. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna call this one astral. So we're gonna be tapping into the energies here of the astral world today. Hopefully, some clues and some wisdom for you. Yeah, I guess we'll get stuck in. Pause the video if you need to. Pole number 1, pole number 2, and pole number 3. We'll start off with pole number 1s. Okay, pole number 1's astral. So it's quite interesting, like a quite interesting note here. Pole number 1s. I'm gonna black this out. But one thing to notice is that we are seeing the back of this person. That's what I've kind of noticed here. So I'm going to black. I'm going to black her out. And leave the hair white. While I'm doing that, just sit on the energy. What do you see? What do you feel? Cool. Dope. Don't know what you think. Might start blacking out some more of my drawings actually. Gives a different energy. I feel like we get a lot from this though. I could draw stars and objects in this, but I don't feel like I need to, because I feel like just the movement of it captures a lot. There's something here to do with like delicate. I feel like pole number 1, you're exploring the delicate sides of yourself. You could even, if that word is a little bit disconnected for you, the word is delicate, but you may resonate more with the word like fragile. That might help you understand it more. So I feel like everyone has fragile sides to themselves, men and women. The scariest of fighters and the strongest of women, they all have a fragile side. Some are better at hiding it, but I've come to notice that, yeah, the scariest of men and the strongest of women, that at least I've known, have proven somewhere along the line that they had some form of fragility. Now, sometimes that gets exposed to us when we're older. Sometimes it's more visible to see in a person when they get older. But it's usually always there. It's just exposed with age, with time. And sometimes a person can be so stubborn that they don't even admit it, even at the point of death or old age. But it's pretty much clear for everyone to see. So maybe that's another little bit of wisdom for you, pile number 1s. If you ever meet someone who doesn't admit their own fragility, it's usually, in my opinion, a big red light. Because it's usually showing either some form of mental health or some form of lack of self-awareness. So, pile number 1s, hopefully you can acknowledge the fragile sides of yourself. Sometimes when someone can't see their own fragility, it's because they just haven't explored it yet too. So they're not always just being stubborn or hard work. It's just they haven't done the self-awareness yet to realise where it is. And for you, I feel like you're almost using the astral world to identify your fragility. I don't know how you're doing that. Maybe it could be as simple as, like your dreams are showing you certain things. They're showing you your fears, your vulnerabilities, those types of things. I just want to note as well, though, this person, they're exploring. They're not in fear, so they might be seeing their fears, they might be seeing their fragility, but they're not in fear about it. This person is floating with it. This person's having a ball. This person's seeing it as a movie. This person is not scared. They're exploring. They're floating. So, pile number 1s, I feel like even for some of you who are listening to this, you might have even, you're close to mastering life, let alone the astral. When you can start seeing things as a movie, you're kind of on the right path. Now, don't get me wrong, there's definitely a time to ground yourself and realise that, you know, the the stab with a knife to your stomach will hurt you and it will possibly kill you. You know, it's a movie, but things do hurt and things are somewhat real. Um, as long as you're able to hold that and ground that side too, when you're able to see this whole experience as a bit of a movie, I think you're on the right path. The weakness of that obviously is that when you see it too much of a movie, that you don't ground yourself and you kind of laugh at everything, you can kind of fall a little bit on the side of being too much in the illusion world, which is just not helpful to survive. Comes with a lot of pain and suffering, that I think. So poem number 1's beautiful reading and a beautiful illustration. Feel free to screenshot this reading as well. Pause on it and see if you're able to extract any other like feelings, emotions, clues, visuals, any sparks of intuition for yourself. I'd recommend that. But for now, I'll leave you to it. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Keep supporting the channel. Please keep supporting the brand. I appreciate you all for being here. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, poem number 2 is the Astral. Cool. This dude's rocking almost like some flares. Some interesting character traits that were coming off this person. Definitely quirky. Masculine energy, but not gender specific. This is someone who's quirky. got some kind of rugged beard going on. Reminds me a little bit of Van Gogh energy. That might resonate with you. You might be into Van Gogh. This person is obviously doing their artistry, their drawing. So I feel like for you in the astral, you're actually coming up with ideas, creativity. But I just want to touch on, so that's your anchor, but pile number 2 is I just want to touch on the character traits here, because I feel like these might be confirmations for you, or at least energies that you're embracing, right? So as always in these drawings, never see these drawings as a visual representation of you, unless if it is literally a reflection of you. But generally don't be put off if what I'm drawing doesn't actually line up with what you look like, because it's pretty much near enough impossible to do that with a collective reading. But instead, I want you to try and extract some of the traits and the way that the image makes you think and feel, and you'll probably find reflections of yourself through that. So this person, to me, doesn't really care what people think, which is always a good sign. And that's not necessarily in a selfish way, that's just in an understanding of self. This person seems to have found almost their technique. They seem quite confident. And I can tell that almost through when they're using this brush. Like, they don't seem scared. You know, as somewhat of an artist, I'm always careful with that title, because I think the title of an artist needs to be earned. I think everyone kind of just throws that title around. But a true artist is actually quite rare. A true artist, for example, in my opinion, does it without the need of others appreciating it, which is very Van Gogh energy, to be honest. Does it without necessarily the monetary gain, and does it authentically and purely. Like, not a lot of artists do that. A lot of artists nowadays, especially, they're just doing it for the bag. And worse still, most artists nowadays are just copying someone else's, like just blatant robbery. Lord knows all the robberies it's gonna, all the copycats I'm gonna get off this channel, because I weren't seeing shit like this when I first started it. I know that for a fact. These for sure weren't out in the algorithms. Do you feel me, partos? But anyways, you might relate to this energy. You might be giving me an amen, hallelujah. Hopefully you are. This person is, like I said, they believe in true artistry. And maybe if this is not you per se, you at least know what I'm talking about. You at least vibe with it, and you can at least appreciate it in others. If you don't consider yourself a true artist, you can go, do you know what? That Zed, he's speaking truth there. Speaking truth. And we're living in an age of sellout artistry. Artists sell out way too easily and too quickly. I think to an extent an artist always sells out anyway, which isn't a bad thing, you know, like, people have got to live. But, like, you got to hold something. You got to hold that spark, do you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you may as well let the AI do it for you, which is essentially what's happening now anyway, I guess. You might as well just have some AI art when you lose that spark. So this person is confident. This person at least understands the history of true art, or the authenticity of true art. And I feel like this person is You know what? I almost feel like this person is training in the astral. I don't know. Again, these readings so far from pile number ones and your reading pile number two, I feel like I'm almost getting some knowledge, some game from these readings through you and through spirit. Is that I didn't even realize you could train in astral space. I guess I could maybe subconsciously be doing it and not be aware, but it's almost like, honing your craft. Like you could literally train for something in the astral, in that sleep state, in that astral state. So I feel like this would be the equivalent, pile number two, so maybe think about how this might look for you. But it's almost the equivalent of like, let's say we're drawing here, right? This is a drawing, and astral travel, like astral dreaming, and practicing your drawing skills, and then waking up the next morning and you're a better drawer. Yeah, like that's mind blown for me, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting here. It may be singing for you. In fact, singing would almost make sense. It's like trying to hit a certain note in the astral and then trying to bring it back into this. When you think about it, like, kind of songs are pretty much made in the astral, aren't they? When you think about it, like when someone comes up with a song, it's kind of channeling to an extent. I think drawing is different. Well, I don't know, like, because I'm not a music creator, but I guess there's many ways where you can channel that music from. But that doesn't even sound so far-fetched when it comes to music, at least. Like even a song, like hearing a song in the astral space or in a dream, and then bringing it in. Seems really possible, actually. So I guess for some of you that probably sounds kind of obvious, but I guess I didn't really think about it that way. And I feel for like a lot of my creative in a lot of my creative career so far, I feel like I've used a lot of logic to come up with my creative ideas. I think in architecture it has to be practical, otherwise it doesn't work. But, I'm clearly getting pushed here. Don't get me wrong, I think like creatively coming up with a concept, I've definitely tapped into my intuition and that astral space, but like the day in and day out of an architect is pretty much, this has to be built correctly. This has to be certain dimensions, otherwise it doesn't work kind of energy. So it's more about making something work physically opposed to creating something from an astral. Anyways, I'm just kind of sharing pile number two's why these as ideas are quite new to me. You may be the same, or you may be completely in that world. I can imagine when you're just completely an artist for your career, you're able to tap into these ideas much easier. Because when you create a piece of art, no one can really tell you that it's wrong or right. But buildings can fall on people's heads, and buildings can, you make that door too small and people can't walk through it. You make that hallway too tight and people can't walk through it. You make that structure too organic and wild and it may buckle or crack. Like there's almost this instant proof of something not working in architecture. Whereas with art, it's often just an expression. You can decide what it means. So yeah, pile number two's keep enjoying that fact that no matter what industry you're in, and there's many industries that restrict creativity even more than architecture. I'm certain of that. But maybe just give a drop of or a bit of salt of what I just said into your day to day life. You may already be doing this pile number twos, but if you're not, if you're in kind of an industry which restricts that creativity, there's just an opportunity here to test it out and trial it out. So yeah, if you enjoyed the read and pile number twos, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. And I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Okay, pile number 3 is the Astral. Now we do have a rainy day today. So one could argue that I just took inspiration from the reality I'm in here, but this kind of came through strong. So I did ask Spirit, like, you sure this is the message? And I got confirmation of that. It's almost like the rain hitting the jacket. That's what I'm trying to show there. There's quite an interesting energy here of almost like it's showing where the rain is hitting the person, because in reality this rain would continue around, but it's like Spirit is showing us the rain hitting the person, so it's almost like a section, a slice, because the rain is kind of stopping here, when in reality that would be in the background, but it's almost just showing us, how it's hitting the person. What do you see? What do you feel? Pile 3s. So we're talking about the astral here. It could be protection. Although I feel like this person's a little bit blasé. They're not too bothered. The way the person's like arms are swinging as well. They almost like but feel like they could be like just listening to music. They're not really concerned about the rain. Maybe it's because they're prepared for it. They got their rain jacket on. They're not too bothered. you know. I'm not sure if you've noticed, sometimes when you look at, if you people watch, and you watch people in the rain, you see all different types of facial expressions. You see some people who are just walking. You see some people who are just like, oh, I fucking hate the rain type energy. You see some people who are kind of happy. It's like not affecting them. You get all of these different facial expressions, these different moments from people, if you people watch. And this is definitely on the energy of someone who's prepared for the rain. So they seem somewhat not bothered, feel like they're listening to music. I feel like pile number 3 this is a bit of a strange comparison to make, but I feel like you might have your prayer game on point, you know? This reminds me of someone who's like, their faith, they've got, yeah, that's like almost key word there. Your faith is on point. So I'm not 100% how it relates to the astral, but this reminds me of someone who prays for something. You could even just say protection. And because their faith is so strong, it's like when the rain comes, they're like whatever, basically. It's like whatever energy. Put the headphones in. I'm literally getting like la-di-da-di-da, you know? So maybe Pal Freeze, this is just a reading which is a salute to you and like a well done. If you don't have your prayer game in order, like it doesn't matter who you pray to, if it's Allah, God, Spirit, Universe. Doesn't matter. Insert name. But whoever you're praying to, whoever's protecting you, I feel like the faith is strong here. The faith is solid. Almost this energy is unfazed by a little bit of rain. This could be someone as well who's maybe suffered with being like attacked spiritually in the past. It's almost like spirits whispered to you, you keep getting wet because you're not wearing a coat. You know? You keep getting wet because you're not wearing a coat. You keep getting wet because you didn't bring your umbrella. And it's like you've prayed and prayed on it and God's just given you a coat now or an umbrella. So you're not even fazed by the rain no more type energy. So yeah, pile number 3 is quite a simple reading. I'd probably just say, just to end it, just remember to give thanks in those prayers. Like if you relate to this energy, if you feel like, man, yeah, Zed's right, I've really like grown. So much so that I haven't even paid attention to how much I've grown. You might want to just give thanks to God in that moment. Like, thanks, I can see how far I've come. I can see how that rain doesn't affect me in the same way like it used to. You might just want to give some honouring and some thanks in that moment. So pile number 3 is that's your reading, a beautiful one at that. If you enjoyed it, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. Check out the Patreon if it's up. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.